like to call to order the regular meeting of the Plain Township Board of Zoning Appeals dated for today, November 4th, the year 2020. A year we'd all like to forget, but unfortunately we got a couple of months yet. I'd like to first introduce the members of the panel in front of you. To my far right is our alternate, Tia Cernova. Seated next to her is Mr. Robert Souls. To my immediate right is Mr. Demetrius Poussalides, our vice chairman. Seated to my near left is Mr. Richard Beck, our secretary. And seated to at the end of the platform here is Mr. Jeff Sutton. Thomas Ferrara is our zoning director, and he is seated down at he must be really afraid of us. He's seated down there at the table. Let me ask, Tim Reichel, I'm your chairman for this evening. Do we have any changes to the agenda?
We do not.
We do not, sir. Thank you very much. Statement of duties. To save time, folks, we have 6 appeals tonight, and I know you don't want to be here all night. The statement of duties are posted on the back. If you have any questions on what we do here, you can go back and read those. And I'll take this opportunity as well to ask that everybody who wishes to speak tonight sign in at the back table. If you have not signed in at the back table, please do that right inside the door there. So the statement of duties are back there. Really scintillating reading if you want to go back there and read it. So, I'm going to move for the approval of the minutes of our last meeting, October 7th, 2020. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
And a roll call vote, please.
Ms. Cernova?
Yes.
Mr. Sutton?
Yes.
Mr. Souls?
Yes.
Mr. Beck?
Yes.
Mr. Poussalides?
Yes.
Mr. Reichel?
And I abstain because I was not here. Do we have any unfinished business?
We do not.
I did not think so, but again, I have to ask. Again, we have new business. We have 6 appeals tonight. I'll just briefly read those. Appeal number 1314-20, Paradise Energy Solutions. We'll give you a pecking order of where you are in order. Appeal number 1315-20, Solgen Power. Appeal number 1316-20, Sean and Kimberly Stevens. Appeal number 1317-20, Market Easton LLC. Appeal number 1318-20, 4824 Whipple Avenue LLC. And the last one is Appeal 1319-20, Kirk and Mindy Bond. The fire department comments. The fire department takes a look at all these appeals, and if he has anything significant, he brings it to the board's attention. I have gone over, there is a letter associated with the 5th appeal. I'll address that at the moment, but as it is addressed to all the other appeals, I can read that. This is from to Timothy Reichel, Chairman, from Scott Kelly, Inspector, dated October 16, 2020, review of appeals. And in each of the ones he has stated, the fire department has no recommendations or suggestions regarding these appeals. And again, the 5th appeal, there was a letter generated, I believe, and I'll address that when we get to the 5th appeal. So nothing from the fire department in that regard. I'd like to administer the oath next. Anyone who is going to, even in the hallway, folks, I can see you out there. If you're going to speak tonight, if you'll just raise your right hand. Anyone who's going to speak tonight, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the information you are about to present is true and accurate to the best of your knowledge and belief? Answer yes or I do.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to the first appeal. And the first appeal is Again, 1314-20, applicant owner Paradise Energy Solutions, 525 Dalton Circle, Northeast Sugar Creek, Ohio, 44681. Daniel Heatherly, 7616 Woodway Street, Northeast Canton, Ohio, 44721. Applicant requests a conditional use permit to place an accessory solar system ground mounted. I think is this the first one we've seen of those? On the property located at 7616 Woodway Street, Northeast Canton, Ohio, 44721. That is parcel number 52-17455. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of the appeal?
Yes, sir.
Please come up to... Merrill, are you getting this okay with this mask on? Please state your name and address and then present your appeal to us, please.
Yes, my name is Andy Hostetler with Paradise Energy Solutions, and we are at 525 Dalton Circle Northeast in Sugar Creek, Ohio. And we are seeking a conditional use permit to install a ground-mounted solar array on the property for Dan Heatherly at the address of 7616 Woodway Street, Northeast in Canton. The array will provide energy to the home, be installed on the south area of the home. The dimensions of the array, 57 foot 1 inch by 13 foot 4 inches. The height of the array at the tallest peak is 10 feet. I do have utility approval already for the solar installation, and we plan to also get county permitting as well before we proceed.
Is there anyone else to speak for the appeal? Is there anyone here to speak against the appeal? Okay, questions from the board? I'll just make them comment. I think, is this the first one we've seen that hasn't been on a roof?
In several years, yes.
In several years. Like, I can't even recall the last one. Okay. And you're well qualified in this as stationary on the ground as opposed to putting up on the roof?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we do many of those. Good.
I have no further questions. Okay, any other questions from the board? Not hearing any, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion. Appeal number 1314-20, applicant owner Paradise Energy Solutions, 525 Belden Circle, Northeast Sugar Creek, Ohio, 44681. Daniel Heatherly, 7616 Woodway Street, Northeast Canton, Ohio, 44720. Applicant requests a conditional use permit to place an accessory solar system ground mounted on the property located at 7616 Woodway Street, Northeast Canton, Ohio, 44721, parcel number 5217455. Now, therefore, be it hereby resolved by the Plain Township Board of Zoning Appeals to grant this request pursuant to section 701.2B13, conditionally permitted uses as a conditional permitted use in accessory solar energy system in any zoning district requires approval from this board.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any further questions? If not, could we have a roll call vote?
Mr. Sutton,
Yes.
Mr. Souls,
Yes.
Mr. Beck,
Yes.
Mr. Posilides,
Yes.
and Mr. Reichel.
Yes. To each of you this evening, if we grant you your request, you can all get with Mr. Ferrara at a later date if you have any questions.
All right. Thank you very much.
It's been granted, sir. Thank you.
And call the office tomorrow.
Will do. Thank you.
Okay, our second appeal of the evening is appeal number 1315-20. Applicant owner Mariela Gonzalez and is it Solgen or Solden?
Solgen.
Solgen Power, 100 Caldwell Drive, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45216. And Sima Lua and Allison Osene, I'm sorry if I butchered those, 3027 Wicker Street, Northeast Canton, Ohio, 44721. Applicant requests a conditional use permit to place an accessory solar system on the roof of the residence on the property located at 3027 Wicker Street, Northeast Canton, Ohio, 44721. Parcel number being 100-10725. Is there anyone here to present the appeal? Please come up to the microphone, state your name and give us your address, please.
My name is Wade Clyde, Representative Soldier Power. We are located at 100 Caldwell Drive in Cincinnati, Ohio, 45216. Requesting a conditional use approval, conditional use permit here for the Osanaya family, located at 3027 Wicker Street in Canton, Ohio. The solar panel system is going to be generating power for their home, offsetting their electricity. We do have approval from the utility company so far, requesting your conditional use approval so that we can then move forward on to the county permits that are required to install the system for this customer.
Thank you very much. Anyone else to speak for the appeal? Is there anyone to speak against the appeal? Okay, again, questions from the board? We've gotten quite a few of these lately, so we're pretty familiar with them. You know, different ages, different, you know, years ago it was cell towers, now it's solar systems. Probably a couple of years from now it'll be spaceships. I don't know. You know, we'll have to put garages for flying vehicles or something. So I hope to live long enough to see that. If there are no questions, can we have a roll call vote, please?
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
A motion, I'm sorry, excuse me.
With respect to Appeal 1315-20, applicant owner Mariella Gonzalez and Solgen Power, 100 Caldwell Drive, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45216. Similuia and Allison Osanoa, 3027 Wicker Street, Northeast Canton, Ohio, 44721. Applicant requests a conditional use permit to place an accessory solar system on the roof of the residence on the property located at 3027 Wicker Street, Northeast Canton, Ohio, 44721. That being parcel number 100100725. Now therefore be it hereby resolved by the Plain Township Board of Zoning Appeals to grant the request as under section 703.2B11 of conditionally permitted uses as a conditionally permitted use an accessory solar energy system in any zoning district required Board of Zoning Appeals approval.
Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay, roll call vote, please. Mr. Farrar?
Mr. Sutton,
Yes.
Mr. Solz,
Yes.
Mr. Beck,
Yes.
Mr. Porcellini,
Yes.
Mr. Reichel.
Yes. Your appeal has been granted. You're welcome. Appeal number 3 this evening is appeal number 1316-20, applicant and owner Sean and Kimberly Stevens, 5657 Beckler Avenue, Northeast Louisville, Ohio, 44641. Applicant requests a variance to construct a 40 by 60 foot, 2,400 square foot pole building on the property located at 5657 Beckler Avenue, Northeast Louisville, Ohio, 44641. The total square foot area of all unattached accessory buildings is 2,500 square feet. The applicant currently has approximately 1,680 square feet in existing accessory buildings and is requesting a 1,580 square foot variance for the proposed building, that being parcel number 52-14570. Anyone speaking for the appeal, please approach. I think you guys know the routine by now. State your name and address, please.
Sean Stevens, 5657 Butler.
Thank you. Go ahead and present your appeal.
Asking for a variance for a 2,400 square foot pole barn at said address.
Okay, and the reason being?
Just storage, and I have 6 kids, or 4 kids, 6 cars. Just trying to get them out of the driveway, place to put them out in the back.
Okay, I see your college-age children are back
Yes.
home
Yeah.
due to COVID.
Right.
So we have an abundance of vehicles and an
Right.
abundance of stuff.
Apartments that got cleaned out and brought back home.
Okay.
Some small house, no storage.
Do you have any intention of taking down, well, before that, is there anyone to speak against the appeal? The existing structure that you have your power tools and mower and that, do you have any plans to raise that, or you want to keep that?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I'd hate to get rid of it, but if I have to, I throw it away. The detached garage was added I think, the house was built in '39, so I think the separate garage was added later. That's why it's not attached. The house was built up on, like they built in the 30s or 40s. It's not really, you couldn't really attach a garage to it. So, I mean, there's nothing I could do.
Have you heard anything from any of the neighbors in regards to this new structure?
No, I've talked to them, but nobody's really, they've called and asked where it's going, what's it's going to be used for. I'm not selling cars or trying to operate a business or anything.
That was my next question. You don't intend to run a business out of this structure?
No, I haven't.
I have no further questions. Anyone else have questions?
I'll make a motion, appeal number 1316-20, applicant owner Sean and Kimberly Stevens, 5657 Bedmore Avenue Northeast, Louisville, file 44641. Applicant requests a variance to construct a 40 by 60 foot, 2,400 square foot pole building on the property located at 5657 Butler Avenue Northeast, Louisville, Ohio, 44641. The total square foot area of all unattached accessory buildings is 2,500 square feet. The applicant currently has approximately 1,680 square feet in existing accessory buildings and is requesting a 1,580 square foot variance for the proposed building on parcel number 5214570. Now therefore be it hereby resolved by the Plain Township Board of Zoning Appeals to grant this request pursuant to section 602.5A1 accessory uses, buildings and structures. A 4,080 square foot size variance, 2,500 square feet total permitted, 1,580 square feet requested.
A second?
Second.
I think I heard Mr. Souls first. Okay, we have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Sutton,
Yes.
Mr. Souls,
Yes.
Mr. Beck,
Yes.
Mr. Posalides,
Yes.
and Mr. Reichel.
Yes. Your appeal's been granted, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Call.
Appeal number, excuse me. This is appeal number 4. And that is appeal number 1317-20. Applicant owner Market Easton LLC, 25555 34th Street, Canton, Ohio, 44705. The applicant is requesting a 4-foot setback variance on the west side of the property located at 6404 Market Avenue, Canton, Ohio, 44721, parcel number 1007243. Again, someone to speak for the appeal. Again, name and address, please.
Hi, my name is Harrison Zolden, located at 2555 34th Street, Canton, Ohio, 44705. As you mentioned, Mr. Reichel, we're seeking a variance to the 25-foot rear yard setback. Our building will protrude only in a portion, 4 feet out, and we're seeking a variance to be 21 feet from the rear yard. This is an effort to allow employees exiting from the rear of the building to be shielded from incoming traffic. We believe the development is going to further improve an entrance to Plain Township, and I'm happy to answer any questions about our proposed variance or development. Thank you.
So, thank you. Anyone else to speak for the appeal? Anyone to speak against the appeal? Again, you had appeared in front of us before, and you had some a question regarding the taking of the land on the front of the building, correct?
That's correct, and In 2016, the state of Ohio expanded Market Avenue and took
Correct.
some ground away from our property. And this variance, as well as the variance we requested and received from you folks in the past, will allow us to optimize use of the smaller site.
Any other questions from the board? Pretty familiar with this one. Do I have a motion on this, please, if there are no questions?
Make a motion, appeal number 1317-20, applicant owner Market Easton LLC, 2555 34th Street, Canton, Ohio, 44705. The applicant is requesting a 4-foot setback variance on the west side of the property located at 6404 Market Avenue, Canton, Ohio, 44721. Parcel number 100072443. Now, therefore, be it hereby resolved by the Plain Township Board of Zoning Appeals to grant this request pursuant to Section 713.3 lot requirements and Section 713.4 yard requirements, 4-foot west side yard variance, 25 feet required, 21 foot requested.
A second?
Second.
No further questions. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Sutton,
Yes.
Mr. Solz,
Yes.
Mr. Beck,
Yes.
Mr. Pucciolitis.
Yes.
And Mr. Reichel.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with your project.
Thank you.
Let me know what you want to do, just give me a call.
Sounds great. Looking forward to it. Thanks, Tom.
Okay, this is appeal number 5, and that appeal is number 1318-20, applicant and owner, 4824 Whipple Avenue LLC, 1305 Boardman Canfield Road, Suite 8, Boardman, Ohio, 44512. The applicant is seeking to move the property lines for parcels 52-13959 and 52-13961, so they can divide the two buildings at the demising wall between the two businesses. The applicant is requesting 0-foot setback variance between the buildings on the properties located at 4822 and 4824 Whipple Avenue Northwest, Canton, Ohio, 44718. Parcel number 52-13959, parcel 52-13961, and parcel 52-16110. Is there anyone here to speak for the appeal? And before you announce yourself, sir, this is the one that we had a letter that was entered into record from the fire prevention. There was a question from, is it Brent Artman, I believe, Artman Engineering. Those buildings are separated by a mason, or no, he asks, good morning, Inspector Kelly. I hope all is well on your end. I'm working with the owner of the former Toys R Us building in McLean Township. Presently, the building is on several parcels. The owner would like to replat the parcels and subdivide into 2 separate parcels. See attached sketch. The split would be along the demising wall of the buildings, thus creating a 0 lot line. I realize that setback variances would be required from the township in order for this to occur. My inquiry is to the requirements on the building end. Does the fire department need to review for fire code? How does that work on your end? Please advise. Response was given by Inspector Scott Kelly, Plain Township Fire Department. Those buildings are separated by a masonry wall and both buildings are fully suppressed. The only time we would get involved is if you are doing a major alteration or changing use groups, and we would require building plans be submitted to the zoning and fire departments. I hope this answers your question. It was admitted for what it's worth into the record, so I'll keep it as such. Again, sir, you can go ahead and state your name and address, please.
My name is Brent Hartman. My address is 13710 Cleveland Avenue Northwest, Uniontown, Ohio, 44685. I'm here to represent the owner of the property and the former Toys R Us store. Like you said, they want to replat the property to consolidate all the lots and then split them into 2 individual parcels along the demising wall, of the existing buildings that are there now. That would result in a 0 lot line, which would require a variance, because right now there is a 25-foot building setback along would be required for that. In the end, we will be creating 2 lots. The front lot along Whipple Avenue will have about 2.2 acres, and the rear lot that fronts on both 47th and 50th Street will be about 4.9 acres. The reason for doing this is they have a tenant in mind for the front building, which would like to purchase that building rather than leasing that building. So we're entering into that agreement with them based upon him receiving the variance and then obviously doing the replat through the county. In addition to that, like I said, you have the letter from the fire department. The building is fully suppressed as separate utility services already. And we're just basically requesting that variance so we can move forward and split the lots and subdivide it and sell as individual owners on the buildings.
Thank you. Is there anyone else to speak for the appeal? Is there anyone to speak against the appeal? Questions from the board? Anything on this end? We can have a motion, please.
Chairman, I'll make a motion, bill number 1318-20, applicant owner 4824 Whipple Avenue LLC, 1305 Boardman Canfield Road, Suite 8, Boardman, Ohio. The applicant is seeking to move the property lines for parcels 52-13959 and 52-13961 so they can divide the 2 buildings at the demising wall between the 2 businesses. The applicant is requesting a 0-foot setback variance between buildings on the properties located at 4822 and 4824 Whipple Avenue. Now therefore be it hereby resolved by the Plain Township Board of Zoning Appeals to grant the request. That is a 0-foot setback variance, 50-foot required, 50-foot requested.
Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Begg. Again, I'll ask for any questions. If none, a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Sutton,
Yes.
Mr. Souls,
Yes.
Mr. Beck,
Yes.
Mr. Posilides,
Yes.
Mr. Reichel.
Yes.
Thank you for your time.
Good luck with your project. Our last appeal of the evening is appeal number 1319-20, applicant and owner Kirk and Mindy Bond, 1602 Bellevue Street Northeast, Canton, Ohio, 44721. The applicant is requesting to build a 30-foot by 40-foot, 1,200 square foot detached accessory garage on a property that does not first have a principal building. In addition, the size of the applicant's property dictates that an accessory building cannot be larger than 407 square feet. That would require a variance of 793 square feet.
Mr. Reichel, if I could, that has been corrected.
It has?
That lot is large enough for the building.
It is large enough
Yes.
for the building?
It is only that they're placing the accessory building ahead of a principal building.
I see. I've got it now.
They took away the one below.
They took the one away. Okay, great. Thank you very much for
Yes,
that
sir.
correction, Mr. Farrar. So that being said, and that is parcel number 5216020. Anyone here to speak for that appeal, please come to the microphone, state your name and address, please.
My name is Kurt Bond. I live at 1602 Bellevue Street, Northeast Canton, Ohio, 44721.
Okay, go ahead and present your appeal to us, sir.
Okay. We
Your
have,
reason for this?
I have the blueprints for the house. We're working with the bank right now to start the build. We'd like to get the permit to build the house in springtime, but I wanted the pole barn ahead of time because I own a small home remodeling business. I have a contractor who's going to be working with me, and I'd like to build the building ahead of time to be able to move all the tools over, to be able to store them as I'm building the house and working on it.
Sweet. Anyone else to speak for the appeal? Is there anyone to speak against the appeal? Yes, come on up, please, to the podium. State your name and address, please.
My name's Tim Bailey, 1502 Red Coat Street, and we're in the lot right behind Burton Indy's parcel.
And state your concerns, sir.
Okay, yeah, I just got some questions because we never really talked about this pole barn being built, and this is like the first that we're, you know, after the letter that we're actually hearing from this. So we just have questions on, you know, the size of the barn, you know, pole barn, you know, why the barn needs to be this size. Then our other question was purpose of use. Are you running a business? You know, to have a barn this big. So, like, are you running a business on this property? Other one is how tall this building going to be? Is it going to be a two-story pole barn? Is it going to be a single-story pole barn? Other concerns, and these are some of these concerns are from a neighbor who also adjoins the property, but he could not be here because he's gone through heart surgery. So he asked me to ask these questions to them. They want to know, will there be things stored behind this barn once it's built? Because they don't want to see clutter start building up, you know, around this pole barn. Then they ask, will there be any kind of landscaping that kind of hide the structure so we don't see such a large structure and the lot behind us. Another one was, there was another neighbor that was asking, how will this size barn affect the neighborhood property? So that's the only questions I have.
Okay, anyone else to speak against the appeal? Okay.
Pat Rennerline.
Yes, go ahead, ma'am.
1492 Red.
I cannot hear you, ma'am. Please speak up.
Pat Rennerline, ERNENWEREIN. 1492 Red Coach Street, Southeast North Canton, 44720. I live catty corner behind this lot. My concern also is in terms of the noise, what you're going to be putting in the structure in terms of equipment, and looking at what times of day and night. The size concerns us. We would like to have something pretty to look at, like some trees or something. Oh, the location. How close, is it going to be closer to the road or closer to our backyards?
Okay, ma'am. Go ahead and have a seat. Do you want to address all these questions that these folks have?
Yes, absolutely. The pole barn is going to be 30 by 40, 10 feet tall. It's going to sit 15 feet off the right side of the property, roughly 100 feet back off the road, about 140 feet off the back of the property. The pool barn is it's going to be used for storage, my truck, my trailer, some tools that I have. I don't do work, I won't be doing work out of it, I don't do work out of it, it's just for storage. I don't know, is there anything else I need to add in there?
They asked, one question was, are you going to store stuff outside of the building
Oh,
behind
yes.
it?
No. Nothing will be stored outside of it, around it. It's just, everything's gonna be stored inside of it. We have a 4,200 square foot home that we're gonna be building beside it. The pole barn itself will be color matched to match the house, so we kind of planned it out so it looks really nice, and it's actually building and helping value to the neighborhood. So the siding, the roof, everything is going to match the house itself, so that we can do the best we can for not only us but for our neighbors to help bring value to the neighborhood and the road.
So it's an empty lot now.
Yes, correct.
You want the barn first and then the house,
Correct.
instead of the house first and then the barn.
Yeah, only just so that the contractors that are working on our house have a place to store it. I have a place to store my stuff for the time being, which would also still be storage after the fact too.
And landscaping was another question. We plan to put any trees around this, or arborvitae, or anything like that?
That would be more of a question for my wife, who doesn't really want to talk right now, but I don't plan on doing any landscaping around it because I'm just not a landscaper, and I would rather just mow grass.
Okay. Any questions from, thank you. Any questions from the board?
Who's the contractor?
Be Jim Schlegel.
Are you gonna participate in building your house?
I will be doing some of the work on the house, yes.
So, Jim Schlegel, he has his own company though?
Yes, correct.
You don't work for that company?
No, I do not.
Okay. And he said that he needs to have a storage facility?
He doesn't need it, I would like to have it.
And then, right now, there's no access road. I mean, there's no driveway.
Correct.
Okay. How are you gonna, and you wanna build this barn, are you going to build the driveway first, or how's the vehicle's gonna go back to the barn?
Gravel at the time, up until, I'll put gravel to the pole barn for now and then to the house area, and then once the house gets built, we'll put concrete driveway that meets up to both of them, the pole barn and the house.
What's the time frame of you building the house?
We're planning on, we're working with the bank and planning on March.
And will Mr. Slayball not build your home if there's no barn?
No, he will still build the house.
I have, so what do you want to put in this barn right now?
My truck, my truck. My tools, right now, a lot of the tools and the stuff that I have are in two storage units that's costing me $200 a month. So it's kind of get the stuff out of there, get it in there, save us a little bit of money in between getting ready for the build.
So currently you have stuff stored in the storage unit.
Yeah.
I guess I have a question. So if I'm correct, once the house was built, there would be no need to get a variance for this building, right?
That's
If
correct.
the house was built first, you could go ahead and build this building
Yes, sir.
without our approval.
And there would need, he would not, if he built the house first, there would be no need to come to us even for the size of the building?
No, size fits the property. It is merely the fact that there is no principal building prior to the accessory building going in.
Got it.
Do I have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion. Applicant, appeal number 1319-20, that's applicant owner Kirk and Mindy Bond, 1602 Bellevue Street, Northeast Canton, Ohio, 44721. The applicant is requesting to build a 30-foot by 40-foot, 1,200 square foot detached accessory garage on a property that does not have a principal building. That's parcel 52-16020. Now therefore be it hereby resolved by the Plain Township Board of Zoning Appeals to grant the request. That is under section 702.2A5. Accessory uses or structures are permitted incidental to the principal use required. A lot must contain a principal building prior to the construction of an accessory building.
Second.
I'll second.
Was that Mr. Beck?
Yes.
That is correct.
I have comments.
Go ahead, Mr. Solz.
Yeah, you know, I will, I mean, my primary concern, I'm sure you would build a beautiful pole barn that would be nice with your home. My concern is by allowing you to construct an accessory building before you would put a home on the property is directly contrary to what obviously our zoning resolutions are. That's why you're here before the board. But also what that means is you would never have to build your house there. I mean, you could just leave this accessory building there. And that creates problems for me. I would not be in favor of it because of that. Because ultimately, you know, it's a residential neighborhood, and all of a sudden just to have a pole barn building there without a home being built, I think creates an issue from my standpoint. You know, essentially for a variance of a zoning resolution, you need to establish practical difficulties. In this case, yours is just financial, because ultimately you do have a location right now to store your equipment and your stuff. I know you have it in a storage unit. It'd be nice to have it here, but you can continue to keep it in a storage unit. Anyone building your house doesn't really need that. I mean, plenty of homes are built without a pole barn. So ultimately, for those reasons, I would not be in favor of granting that appeal for that primary reason. That's just my opinion.
Any other questions, concerns, or statements? I tend to agree with Mr. Solz. You know, this is the old adage, you know, which came first, the chicken or the egg? And you referenced twice, I'll just add what Mr. Solz said, that you're discussing with the bank financing to build the house. God forbid, something should come up where you wouldn't get the financing to build the house. And as Mr. Solz stated, now we've got a lot there with a pole barn building on it, but we don't have a house. And hope, again, I do not wish that on anyone. But I'm just saying that could be something that could possibly happen. And again, I don't like creating new precedent when we have this for a reason in our zoning code. So I tend to agree with Mr. Solz. I think, you know, once we let this out, then the cat's out of the bag, so to speak, and who knows what could come up. So, although I sympathize with the payment of storage units, there are many people have storage units, and that's why they're there. That's why we have storage units. So, that's all I have to say. Anyone else want to make a comment? Roll call vote, please, then? Or no?
Mr. Sutton?
No.
Mr. Solz?
No.
Mr. Beck?
No.
Mr. Posilides?
No.
Did you say yes, sir?
No.
No. Mr. Reichel?
And no. Again, for the what I had stated earlier, what Mr. Solz stated earlier. I wish you well in the house. I hope everything goes splendidly for you. And as Mr. Farrar said, you know, once that house, once that ground is broken and you're building that house, you can build the barn and you don't have to come back and see us anymore. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir. Are there any announcements? I know that you stated here that there is a meeting scheduled for December 2nd.
Yes, sir. We have 2 applicants coming to that meeting.
2 in December.
Yes.
Okay, are there any other announcements to be made by the board? Anyone on the board? Merrill, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
And roll call?
Mr. Sutton?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Solz?
Yes.
Mr. Beck?
Yes.
Mr. Posilides?
Yes.
Mr. Reichel?
Yes. This meeting is adjourned.